What is good, everybody? You guys are tuned in to another segment of DJ Sports Play. And in today's segment, we will be discussing Super Bowl 60 and the Super Bowl results between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this game started off pretty slow, in my opinion. Honestly, there was nothing going on. Like when I first watched the game, it was just this team was stopping the run, Seattle was stopping the run, and then the New England Patriots were stopping the run. None of the offenses could get anything going because both defenses were just sending 8 for most of the first half. Both quarterbacks were under immense pressure. Sam Darnold was under pressure. The O-line wasn't blocking that well to start, and neither was the New England Patriots O-line either. They were under duress to start off. But then, as soon as the second half came around, it was a different story. Both QBs took a while to get something going. Well, really, Drake May didn't really play his best game. He did fumble. He did get sacked like 6 times. He was under pressure 14 plus times. Like, it was bad. Drake May was getting heavily pressured, and then he was crumbling. He couldn't really do much because by the time he snapped the ball, there was like 8 defenders in the backfield waiting for him. I could say this, the left side of the Patriots O-line did not block well at all. Will Campbell was getting dog-walked. Jared Wilson was getting dog-walked. Their whole left side of the O-line was getting dog-walked. Heck, even their right side of the O-line wasn't blocking well either. Drake May was getting pressured and sacked, fumbling, making bad mistakes, throwing interceptions, not making the right reads. He did have this one throw that I recognize, though, in the second half to Mac Hollins. It was like 6 people about to sack Drake May, and he threw an absolute dot in the second half. It was a perfect pass, but it really wasn't enough because Sam Darnold adjusted in the second half. They were actually figured out how to get Kenneth Walker going. They actually figured out how to evolve not just JSN, but their tight ends. Now, granted, JSN did not have the most explosive game. He did only have 4 receptions for 37 yards and no TDs. So we can say that Christian Gonzalez had a great game on him. Just in general, Christian Gonzalez had an amazing game. He was honestly locking JSN up. We were questioning who was going to win the battle, and I can honestly say that Christian Gonzalez won it. I'm going to be honest. Even though the Patriots lost the game 29-14, I mean, JSN was pretty much on clamps for most of the game. Christian Gonzalez was doing his job. He was using the right technique. He was playing them well in man-to-man coverage. Even in zone, he was reacting well. There was this play in the first quarter where it was a post route, I'm pretty sure, and JSN tried to cut in, and Christian Gonzalez jumped right in front of it for an almost interception. It was a great read by Christian Gonzalez. He played an amazing game. Like, that was probably the best game I've seen from a corner all season. And it was like a big game for him. Yeah, that was a great performance. But in the second half, you could just tell that one team just outplayed the other. It was clear the Seahawks defense dominated. Derek Hall had 2 sacks. Devin Witherspoon forced a fumble in the fourth quarter. It was just a great game by Seattle Seahawks defense. Kobe Bryant had some key pass breakups. Eamon Wari had some key tackles. Their defensive line was getting after it. Leonard Williams, he was getting after the quarterback. Byron Murphy, he was getting after the quarterback. Their whole D-line was really getting after it, and you could tell throughout the game if you were watching it that the Patriots offense could not get anything going. Now, Mac Hollins did do pretty well this game for the Patriots. He was a bright spot in that offense. He did have a touchdown later in the second half over Tariq Woolen for a touchdown. And he did have that one catch over the middle of the field for a first down on Drake May's best pass of the game. And, man, I mean, even though that happened, it just wasn't enough. Seattle knew how to adjust. Mike Macdonald is an amazing coach. And Clint Kubiak knew how to adjust in the second half for the Seattle Seahawks offense. Clint Kubiak did a really great job of realizing what the Patriots defense, a coordinator, was calling and what their defense liked to run. And he found a way to adjust to it and score touchdowns in the second half. Sam Darnold was even throwing dots in the second half. We know it was shaky in the first quarter and even in the second quarter. Nothing was really getting done, but as the game went on, Sam Darnold figured out how to move the chains, get downfield, convert on early downs. He was doing his job. And Kenneth Walker was running. He was being patient. He reminded me so much of prime Le'Veon Bell with how patient he was, hitting the hole, getting like 4 yards per carry, getting those big runs for first downs, waiting for the O-lineman to create lanes for him. It was great running by Kenneth Walker, which is why I think he won MVP. Now, granted, people were saying that Jason Myers did get robbed of MVP, and that's a valid argument to make. He was making a lot of field goals for them. He was scoring a lot of points for the Seahawks team. But Kenneth Walker was getting them in position for Jason Myers to score those points. And you guys got to remember that late in the fourth quarter, Kenneth Walker did get robbed of a long touchdown run. He could have had 169 rushing yards with the TD. He got robbed big time of that because of a flag, a holding call. So Kenneth Walker, in my opinion, did deserve it. But if y'all want to make that argument that Jason Myers deserved MVP too, Super Bowl MVP, at that, you can make that. I believe he had a great game. And Kenneth Walker had a great game too. I did expect JSN to do a little bit more because he's really the star player of that team, star wide receiver, but it just happens. He did get injured in like the second quarter. He had to deal with that and try to get back in, which he did in the second half. But JSN really didn't do much this game. A.J. Barner had a touchdown catch in the second half that really gave the Seahawks offense momentum, which was great for them. And unfortunately for the Patriots, they just couldn't really get anything going besides that one TD. And then even when they scored in the fourth quarter with an insane catch by Ramondre Stevenson, that ball almost hit the ground. Even with that touchdown catch by Ramondre, it was really garbage time. The game was already over. It was BTA. It was belt. Mostly the whole time. The Patriots offense couldn't do anything. They were on clamps. They were locking them up the whole time. They weren't really doing much. They just had no answer for what the Seahawks were doing pressure-wise. They were sending safety blitzes, corner blitzes. They were sending extra people at Drake May because he was really inexperienced in the Super Bowl. Now, Sam Darnold was inexperienced too, but somehow, some way, Sam Darnold was more of a veteran, so he figured out how to adjust to what the Patriots defense was throwing at him every step of the way, which is why the Patriots offense just couldn't really do much because the Seattle defense has been amazing all year. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Patriots defense. They were good this year too. They did way better than expected because everyone thought the Patriots were just going to be like a wild card team. But no, they ended up winning the whole division and actually going far. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Now, I do believe that the Seattle Seahawks can repeat. They did win the Super Bowl. They got their ring. I'm so proud of Mike Macdonald and all he accomplished as a head coach. I wish the Ravens would have kept him. I feel like it was a huge mistake to let Mike Macdonald walk out the door. We should have promoted him. But in terms of head coaching and his abilities, that should be no question that he could be an amazing head coach in this league. He got his one ring, and I'm super proud of Mike Macdonald. He was a great DC for us. We had one of the best defenses in the league when we had Mike Macdonald, which showed in 2023. And Mike Macdonald absolutely deserved this ring. Sam Darnold deserved this ring. Kenneth Walker. All the players deserved to get that ring because they proved it that night that they were just a better team. And unfortunately, the New England Patriots are just going to have to wait another year to add another ring to their trophy case. I feel like they're going to be fine in the long run anyway, though, because they already have 6 rings as a franchise. They're going to be cool no matter what. So, yeah, man, Seattle wins Super Bowl 60. And unfortunately, the Patriots lost in an ugly fashion. The game wasn't even close. It was belts and you know what, the whole game. But yeah, man, I'm super proud of the Seahawks. They deserved every second of that win. And I'm super proud, really proud, once again, of Mike Macdonald for accomplishing that accolade. It's something to add to his resume as he tries to become a Hall of Fame coach in the future. And I hope he becomes that. He deserves everything he has coming to him. And Sam Darnold really just changed the narrative for his career. You know, he was doubted on the Jets, and then he was a backup for the Niners, and then he went to the Vikings and got his starting shot, and they had a great year, and then went on to lose the first round to the Rams. And then the following year, for some dumb reason, the Vikings just let him walk. That was probably the dumbest decision I've seen in my life. That was stupid. Whoever their owner was, I'm glad he got fired because that was dumb. How do you let him walk? Their GM is wilding too. How do you let Sam Darnold walk after having that amazing season? And then y'all settle with J.J. McCarthy, who can't even stay healthy. And even when he does play, he's an interception merchant. He doesn't know how to read the field to save his life. I just don't get it. I don't get how you let go of Sam Darnold after the year he had. And then as soon as he goes to the Seahawks, they win that Super Bowl. It was just stupid. It was diabolical that they made that decision. But yeah, man, this has been another episode of DJ Sports Play. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at DJ Sports Play. And also like, comment, subscribe on my newest YouTube video at DJ Sports Play 2. Yeah, man, this was basically my last football episode in terms of talking about live action and all that because the season's over now. Seattle Seahawks are champions, and this is their second ring. So now, after this episode, I'm going to start talking about baseball and basketball now. I'm going to move on to other sports, try to be more versatile with talking about different sports. I'm going to be talking about Orioles news. I'm going to be talking about what's going on in the NBA. I'll still talk about NFL every now and then, probably the upcoming draft and who I have teams picking in terms of draft-wise and them like trading up maybe. I'll probably talk about that, but I can't talk about live action games anymore because the season's over. But yeah, man, I'm going to try to talk about more Orioles content and possibly more Milwaukee content since that's my favorite team, more Bucks content. So yeah, like I said again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe on my YouTube channel at DJ Sports Play and follow me on Instagram at DJ Sports Play. And yeah, man, this has been another segment. I'm Darren and I'm signing out. See you guys later.